Smith wins. Like, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow.
Hello everyone and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. By now you've probably heard about it. Will Smith slapped Chris Rock on live TV. Then instead of being escorted out of the Oscars show for what I consider to be assault, came back, sat in his seat, won an Oscar, came up on stage, got a standing ovation, came up on stage, got a standing ovation, and then talked about love. Folks, you're about to see exactly what happened, because what happened was in the US, even though everyone was able to see what happened, the audio was turned off. But in Australia and in Japan and in many other places, everything that Will Smith said was actually heard. Now, Chris Rock probably shouldn't have made this joke. Let's be clear about that. But the way Will Smith handled it was unacceptable. He could have handled it much better. And he not only went up on stage and slapped. Now, by the way, it doesn't matter whether he slapped him, punched him. Those are semantics. He assaulted Chris Rock. And then he said, "Keep my wife's name out of your mouth." Yes, he said that. So we're going to watch this entire clip, see what happened last night at the Oscars. And Will Smith did go on to win Best Actor for his portrayal of the Williams sisters' father in King Richard. But the way our society, the way Hollywood is just normalizing casual violence, I think is going to hurt us in the long term. And I think that what Will Smith did was unacceptable. I believe he should have been escorted out of the Oscars immediately. And let's look at even broader questions here. What if a white man, yes, I said it, what if a white man had slapped Chris Rock on live TV? I mean, Jesus, this is unacceptable. And I think Will Smith should face some kind of consequences, because this is not okay. This is not okay. This should have been handled in a different manner. If Will Smith had shouted the words he shouted, that would have been one thing. But to go up on stage and assault another man is simply unacceptable. The latest information is that Chris Rock has refused to file a police report, and at the current moment, the Los Angeles Police Department is not looking into assault charges against Will Smith. But I can tell you that I personally have lost respect for this actor, and this is not okay. This is not okay, because we're talking about individuals all over the country, potentially all over the world, thinking it's okay to assault someone else in the name of love. And by the way, yes, this was a joke that was out of line, but the reaction from Will Smith was even more out of line. Let's roll the tape and watch what happened last night at the Oscars. Let's take a look.
Oh, wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
ウィル・スミスにやられました。
Wow, dude. It was a G.I. Jane joke.
G.I. Jane のジョークだったんです。
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television.
テレビ史上最高の場面でしょうか。
So we are here to give a documentary out. To give an Oscar.
Yes, folks, that's what happened. A pretty unbelievable sequence of events last night at the Oscars. And I can tell you once again that what Chris Rock did was not okay. Why was it not okay? Will Smith's wife suffers from a condition called alopecia, which is hair loss. And she's openly talked about her hair loss. And in case you're wondering what is going on, well, Chris Rock made a joke about G.I. Jane, basically referring to a character without hair. While maybe he didn't know, or maybe he did know, that Will Smith's wife essentially suffered from alopecia, hair loss. Now, let's be clear. This is a joke. Yeah, it's a bad joke, but there are a ton of bad jokes out there. I mean, there were so many jokes throughout the night, and I actually consider this a fairly mild joke. There are jokes that are much more nasty, much more difficult to handle, and people laugh through it. I mean, if you watched different comedy shows and if you watch roasts, that was absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things. In fact, if you really think about it, and let's watch what Will Smith did to Chris Rock in slow motion. If you really watch this was assault. In fact, Chris Rock, the way he handled it, I thought he was an absolute pro. He could have just immediately reacted and rubbed his face. He could have walked off stage. He could have essentially said he could have done a bunch of things, and he could have killed the mood in the entire auditorium, but he kept going like a professional. On the other hand, Will Smith just completely lost it. Apparently, Sean P. Diddy Combs had to say something like, we're going to sort this out as a family, and Denzel Washington went up to Will Smith and sort of took him outside and spoke with him, but this was completely uncalled for. This was completely uncalled for by Will Smith. This is unacceptable. This is the casual normalization of violence in the name of love. In fact, let's take a look at a small segment of Will Smith's post-acceptance speech for winning the Best Actor award and him essentially apologizing. And by the way, I don't think this cuts it. He apologized and then he said that love makes you do crazy things. Let's take a look at what Will Smith said, and then I'll give you my opinion right after we hear his comments. Let's take a look.
You got to be able to have people talk crazy about you. In this business, you got to be able to have people disrespecting you. And you got to smile and you got to pretend like that's okay. I want to be a vessel for love. I want to say thank you to Venus and Serena. I just spit. I hope they didn't see that on TV. I want to say thank you to Venus and Serena and the entire Williams family for entrusting me with your story. That's what I want to do. I want to be an ambassador of that kind of love and care and concern. I want to apologize to the Academy. I want to apologize to all my fellow nominees.
Well, here's what I think. I call yes, Will Smith, I call you don't get to assault someone and then say that this was done in the name of love. Again, this was absolutely not okay. Now, I know some of our viewers and subscribers will say, hey, he was defending his wife. Sure, it's a good thing to defend your wife. I would be upset if someone made fun of my wife, but I wouldn't get up on stage, assault someone, okay, and then curse out and kill the mood in the entire auditorium because there's other people there. In fact, let's take a look at some of the reactions from other celebrities who were there on stage last night, and let's take a look at some of their faces and you will get a sense of how shocked the entire audience was, because as far as we know, this was an unscripted moment. Yes, Will Smith could have been upset, but on the other hand, Will Smith could have laughed, and by the way, he is supposedly a comedian himself. He could have laughed and he could have just said something smart back to Chris Rock, but going up on stage, assaulting someone. And again, I want to ask our viewers and subscribers, what if a white man had assaulted a black man on stage in the Oscars? Or what if Will Smith had assaulted a white man on the Oscars? Or what if The Rock made this joke? Yes, you heard that right. What if The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, made this joke? Do you think Will Smith would have gone up on stage and done that to The Rock? I mean, this is absolutely absurd. And the way Twitter's lighting up saying, hey, good on Will Smith, is the casual normalization of violence, which is not acceptable. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Please click like, please click subscribe, please enable notifications. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda. I have the fortune, the honor, the privilege of living the American dream. I am the host of the Ignition Time channel, the channel where we talk about important matters pertaining to the country, the economy, as well as our money. And please take a moment to click like, subscribe, and enable notifications. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Also take a moment to follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is ignition_time. That's ignition_time. Thank you. I'll see you in the next episode. Let me know what you think in the comment section below.